It's Dr. Jack Barnathan with my great friend Danny Beasley. Danny, it's good to see you today, pal.
Hey, Dr. Jack, how are you?
Outstanding, outstanding.
Mm,
Danny and I were talking last week, and it was we had this talk, and part of the conversation, we both were recalling a great movie from a few years ago, Peaceful Warrior. Dan Millman had written a book when I was in college. I remember The Peaceful Warrior, and it was based on um, and it was kind of intense because this athlete had to plug in, really get plugged in, and he had a mentor, a kind of mystical mentor. I don't want to kill the movie for anyone. It's worth watching. It's great. All of Millman's books were wonderful. But Danny, you commented about plugging in, like really getting connected when it came to prayer.
mm,
And which I think, that if someone is capable of learning how to do that or they strive for it, they have the potential for plugging in with everything because they're plugging into the right thing first. Just
mhm.
love for you to share your thoughts on it, Danny.
Yeah, that is a very key piece that everybody, I think, um, should kind of strive for. Um, so, when we talked last week, we were talking about having this connection with your neurological
Yeah.
senses would get to a place where it was similar to people who are in prayer, that focus and certain things can get you in that same place. But um, yeah, I think when it comes to prayer, I think one of the key elements of it is that you're seeking something outside of yourself. Now, for me, it's not really about religions because um, with me as for instance, I don't really teach people concerning religions versus relationship. I believe we
Wow.
all have, yeah, yeah, religions come from more of traditions religion is more of a man's search for that relationship, this utopia place that every religion is seeking for, and that's why each and every person has a inward desire for this place of utopia, of place of peace, place where there's no war, place where your family can be raised and you're not worried about bills and all of these other things that we deal with today. This place called heaven, a
Mm,
place that is better than the life that we live now, right?
yeah.
So when it comes to prayer, in a sense, though, prayer, the word or the biblical sense of prayer is no more than communication to to a different location. So I remember my wife, Dr. Jack, who's from Ethiopia. Right? When I first met her, she was praying a lot, and I would see her, and she would go and she would do her prayer, and I asked her about it. I said, when you're praying, what are you doing? What is it that you're doing? Because I would see her doing a lot of talking, like and she had a mantra or something that she was praying and saying.
Yeah.
She came out of the Orthodox religion, and after I talked to her for a while, I realized that she did a lot of communicating, but not a lot of listening. And so when you talk about being plugged in, I think you got to really understand or believe first that there is a there is someone on the other end of the line, in a sense, right?
Yep.
And the Bible says if anyone comes to God or even prays to God, you must first believe that He is, and He is a rewarder of those that diligently seek Him. Well, how are you going to seek this invisible God, or how do you do that? Well, that's called prayer. we seek him, we tap into who he is, not through necessarily any religions, right? It's it's
Yeah.
it's a person, it's a relationship that you go into by faith, understanding that there's someone greater than you that created you, but you have to believe that he wants to communicate to you and
Hmm.
not you just being a robot, sending all of your requests to him. You think about it, like I taught my wife like how you don't pray to God, you know, with a bunch of things that he already knows.
Hmm.
Prayer to God is more so you positioning yourself in a way that you can hear what you need to know.
Yeah.
Because so prayer is a place of communication that you have to position yourself in that place that we talked about last week, that having that oneness, that connection of kind of getting those other things out of your life. The peaceful warrior, he fought against himself.
Yeah.
You'll see in the movie, like he had a battle himself to get him and his ambitions and his goal and all this stuff. He had I mean, a
Yeah.
spoiler, like you said, for other people, but once people can free themselves from all of the noise that this world can present, and really believe that there's someone who wants to guide your life, because your life is designed to become and do something, whether people believe that or not. There's a purpose for you being here. and
Yeah.
um and a lot of times we just don't read, we don't want to connect to the one who sent us here to fulfill that purpose. So whether you are Jewish, whether you are Orthodox, whether you are Baptist, whether you're Methodist, whether you're atheist, you know, even atheists, right? I love talking to atheists because they don't have a lot of the struggles of having religion in their way.
Yeah.
So well, and what I mean by that is that most atheists just throw out the baby with the bathwater, right?
Yep.
Instead of understanding that there's a true God, just like I'm a father to my children. I love them. I fellowship with them. I don't want them just sitting down and just, daddy, 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 daddy. You
Right.
know, I want to hear from them, and I want to teach them. I want to show them. I want to protect them. I want to do all these things to make sure that they are as successful as they could be. And if we have that approach to know that there's someone who we can't see, but that is in control, that is responsible for everything that we can see, and we can actually speak to him.
Yeah.
He's not this big, invisible person in the sky with a big hammer waiting for you to do something wrong. That's just not the God that I
No.
know. That is not the God that I know is just like, he has grace, he has mercy, and he wants you to be able to come to him and ask him things. But the biggest part, in my opinion, is if you're going to him asking something, be in position to be quiet enough to hear the response. And that's how you stay connected. And that's how you start lining your life up to where you just don't you ask and listen. And then as you listen, you go about doing. So
Wow.
I pray, I pray without ceasing, Dr. Jack, every day, meaning I live my life in a place to where everything I do throughout the day, I'm always open to hear whether this is the right way or not. In the smallest things, when
Yeah.
I'm walking down the street, I'm always tapped in, and I'm always listening to hear that communication between me and my source, because I don't have to be on my knees like this. I have to be aware by faith on the inside. That's what prayer is.
Wow. That
Yeah.
dogma versus a relationship. And
Yeah.
it's so cool the way you just put it. Danny Beasley, everyone get on Danny's page, get into a conversation with this great man. Looking forward to his next book, the follow-up to one of my favorites in the world, The Masterpiece Lies Within. Uh, Danny's new book on mentorship is going to be something so important for everyone. Thank you, Danny.
All right. Yes, sir.